Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/IDontWorkHereLady and our story for today. Should have asked for the employee discount. I hope you like it and subscribe for future videos. Backstory. Over the last 10 months, my world has kind of fallen apart. I quit one of my 3 part-time jobs to devote more time to the other 2, and they both let me go after the holiday season. I tried going back to school only to get jerked around by admissions in an attempt to get more money that I don't have out of me while also denying my FAFSA. I started working as a substitute teacher, but was lucky if I got called in twice a week. I was in a bad place, and I noticed I was spending my days laying around the house or sleeping late and not eating, so I resolved to double down on my hobby, something I love more than anything else, to pull myself out of my funk. What's my hobby? Crocheting. For those of you who don't know, crocheting is a craft where you use a small hooked rod like this one to, as I like to say, make knots in yarn or string, much like with knitting. You can make simple items like hats or scarves or giant items like blankets. I decided to start making blankets for family members as a way to A, make up for not getting everyone Christmas gifts, and B, improve my own skill. Blankets take a lot of yarn to make, even if you're using really thick yarn, and money was tight, so I had to come up with an attack plan for each blanket. Know exactly how big it was going to be and what pattern I would use so I could figure out how much yarn I needed to buy. Then I watched for sales. When a big sale was announced at Joann Fabrics or AC Moore, I would pounce on it and sometimes clean them out of a particular color or thickness. Despite all this, I'm constantly going back for more yarn because I'm bad at math and have underestimated how much I'll need on a particular pattern. The event. I get an email about a clearance sale on the type of yarn I'm using to make my new baby nephew a blanket, and when I call to ask what colors they have, I learn the clearance sale is because they're no longer going to carry that type of yarn. The company that makes that yarn signed on an exclusivity deal, yes, yarn companies do that too, with the store's competitor, and they have to get rid of their stock. They don't have the color I need, but I'm not going to miss out on this 80% off yarn. So I know I'm crazy and I'm in my 30s. Leave me alone. I get to the store wearing my gray baggy sweatpants, a t-shirt with a picture of Goose from Captain Marvel seated under the words, "Bring me Thanos" on it, and mismatched sneakers. I was in a hurry. Again, I know I'm weird. I hurry to the clearance section and begin going through what they have. As I'm doing this, I hear a lady asking her adult daughter a question, and the daughter saying, "I don't know, I'll Google it." I asked if they needed help, and they said yes. Turns out the lady's sister had passed away recently, and while going through the house, the sister's kids found tons of yarn, knitting needles, and crochet hooks. All of this stuff was mailed to the lady because her nieces and nephews remembered seeing her knit with her mother when they were little, but sadly, she stopped knitting shortly after her daughter was born almost 25 years ago. Now, she and her daughter were going to learn/relearn how to knit and crochet together. They started asking me questions about the yarn they received, and I went into full teacher mode. I explained the different yarn sizes, the different hook and needle sizes, and different knitting and crocheting techniques. I recommended beginner's books and YouTube videos for them, and even gave them a few of my coupons so they won't break the bank getting started again. They were extremely happy, thanked me for my help, and went up to the cash register. I waved and went back to browsing yarn. A few minutes later, a young lady with an apron, bearing the store's logo, peeked down the aisle. Worker. "Hey, was there an employee down here?" Me. "Not recently, no." She nods and leaves, then returns within a minute. Worker. "Hey, sorry, but are you sure there wasn't someone here a while ago?" Me. Thinking she's trying to find whoever stocks the shelves. "No, but I think I saw someone 2 aisles over." Worker. "Thanks." 2 minutes pass and I've made my final decisions about yarn and am about to leave the aisle with my treasures when she returns, followed by the store manager, who points at me and says, "That's her. Why is it so hard for you people to do your jobs?" Me. "Is there a problem?" Manager. "Yes, you're not wearing appropriate work attire." Me. "What?" Manager. "And how many times do I have to tell you people you can't save items for yourself in the back? You can make personal purchases after your shift is over. And where's your apron? Don't tell me you lost it. I'm sick of hearing it." Me. Realizing she thinks I'm an employee. "I'm sorry, but I don't work here." Manager. "Yes, you do. 2 women just told me an employee helped them with their purchase, and I saw you talking to them on a security camera." Me. "Ma'am, I don't work here. I'm a customer." Manager. "Don't lie to me." Worker. Miss Manager, she doesn't work here. She's just a regular who likes to help out. I've rung her up a few times and she's Manager. Don't you start lying to me too. You're already in trouble for coming in late. Worker. Miss Manager, I'm not lying. She doesn't work here. Manager. Then why is she helping customers? Me. Because I'm way too obsessed with my hobby and a teacher to boot. So if someone has a question about how to do something, I love doing what I'm inclined to do and help them. At that point, the manager gets really huffy, takes a deep breath, pulls her shoulders back, lifts her head so she's staring at me down her nose and says, "Do not talk back to your manager that way, young lady. Who do you think you are? Do you want to be fired?" Me. Ma'am, in the last 4 months, I've quit one job only to be fired from my other 2 jobs. I've enrolled and dropped out of 2 colleges before classes even began because admissions lied to me about the degree program I was enrolling in. I've nearly drained my savings account to pay bills and am barely scraping by working as a substitute teacher. I'm fighting off a mountain of depression by doing the one thing I love more than video games, channeling my inner cat and playing with yarn. Now, if you excuse me, I have a purchase to make and yarn to turn into scarves for a 14-year-old niece. And with that, I grab my cart and leave the aisle. The manager just stared at me with wide, confused eyes as I made my purchase and went home. 2 weeks later, I was back at the store for a new hook. The one I was using snapped in half when I rolled my computer chair over it. Wooden hooks are beautiful, but you need to treat them with care. And saw the worker from before. She informed me that after I left, the manager went to her office and called HR to get me fired. It was then that she realized she didn't know my name, so sent a screenshot from the security footage to the HR guy. There was some back and forth about the image as the manager expected the HR guy to run facial recognition on it to find my name, and the HR guy insisting that was not a thing before hanging up. So with the screenshot open on her desktop, the manager spent the rest of the afternoon, almost 3 hours, going through every employee's file trying to match my picture with an employee. When the store closed, the manager sought out the worker and said, "That woman doesn't work here. Why did you lie to me and say she did?" The worker said, "My mistake," and had a good laugh with friends about it later that night. And our second story. Lady, I'm just stalking things for my friend. So this story's about 6 years old, but I still remember it. I've only just posted it because I just got an account. It's not my only I don't work here story. I've got 2 others. This was just the first one that happened to me. M is me, duh. F is my friend. CW is my friend's coworker. L is lady who thinks I work there. Anyway, I was 18 and at a Hot Topic waiting for my friend who asked me to pick them up since his car broke down a few days before, and I was looking around to see if I wanted anything. I saw my friend struggling with a couple of boxes and decided to help him, so I grabbed the top box that was slightly open, looked at what was inside, a bunch of random accessories, and said I'd put them up for him since his only coworker was at the cash register, and I had worked thereabouts quite a few days prior, so if the manager was there, I probably wouldn't have gotten yelled at. So, as I'm putting some necklaces up, I feel a tap on my shoulder. I turn expecting it to be my friend, but instead see a girl with bright pastel hair. I kinda thought she was lost until I saw the dress she was wearing. It was my neighbor Totoro. I figured she wanted to look at the jewelry, so our conversation went as follows. Me. Sorry I was in your way. Lady. No, I was just curious if you have this shirt in small. She then held up a band shirt, and the tag said large. Me. I'm sorry, I don't know, I don't work here. Lady, but you were just restocking. Me, oh, that was for my friend as he needed help. You could ask him if there are any of that shirt in small. L, don't you lie to me. You just don't want to help me because I look like I'm too girly to be in here. Me, look, lady, I don't think you're too girly to be in here, but like I said, I don't work here. Just as I said that, my friend and his coworker came to my rescue. CW, is there a problem, ma'am? Lady, yes, your coworker here's being rude. CW, she's not my coworker. Lady, but she was restocking the jewelry. F, she was helping me. I get off work soon and asked her to drive me home. She was just helping so that we can go home soon. At this point, the lady had a look of realization pass over her face and just dropped the shirt, apologized, and left. I picked the shirt up and asked my friend to get me a small of it. He did, and I bought it along with a few pieces of jewelry that I had liked from what I was stocking, along with a few buttons to add to my collection. My friend told me that he had to stay a bit longer since his other coworker hadn't shown up yet, so I left and told him to message me when he was done. Then I went to find the lady. I saw her entertaining a chocolate shop and went in after her. As she got in line, I went right behind her and, like she did to me earlier, tapped her on the shoulder. She turned around and looked surprised to see me. Lady, look, I already apologized, and again, I didn't let her finish. I pulled the shirt out of the bag. Me, it's okay. Here, I got it for you. It's the size you wanted as well. Lady, oh no, I couldn't. I was rude, and you shouldn't have gotten it for me. Me, I insist. Well then, thanks. But at least let me get you some chocolate as a better thank you. Me, sure. So she got me some sea salt chocolate caramel, and we went to the food court and had a pleasant conversation. I found out a few things about her. Her name was Charlotte. She's bisexual. She liked animals, and as it turns out, it was her time of the month, and she was a little pissed since she didn't have any painkillers. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.